What's good everyone, it's Zigzag here, welcome back to another Geoguessr video, and welcome back to the road to #1 in the world on Geoguessr duels. Now we are currently sitting at 308 in the world, which meant that last video was quite an improvement, so hopefully we can build up some momentum once again today. Now before we get into anything else, I just wanted to mention, if you go up into the avatar shop in the top here, you can actually buy limited edition World Cup uniforms and support all your favorite players. So when you buy one of these, for example, if you want to buy the Australian one, which has my name on the back, and you get the glasses and this suit, if you want to buy that, I think it's like $3-4 US, something like that, $4 US, then a portion of it goes to me, and yeah, you can support your favorite player like this, so it's kind of cool, and I think actually the uniforms look pretty good as well, and it's kind of interesting how the Australian colors are actually green and gold, which is actually accurate. In Australian sports uniforms, we have green and gold, which symbolizes, I think, one of our native flowers, the wattle, so kind of cool. Yeah, you can help support your favorite player, maybe me, if you're watching this video, quite possible. So yeah, could be a fun thing to do, but let's get straight into duels here. We are playing no moving, and we are guessing quickly and hopefully putting the pressure on some opponents. Now, in last video, we tended to play a lot of players who were kind of a bit lower rated, so I hope that we can get some like higher rated opponents today. Okay, we finally have our game here against a Swiss opponent, similar rating. And let's give him a wave back. Now, we should be somewhere in Botswana here. When you see this kind of dry shrubbery, there are a few places you can click. It's often like in this pocket over here or around Francistown, especially when you have this kind of, what would you say, this kind of reddish soil as well, because you can get dry shrubbery on the other side of the country, but that's often in the kind of more winterish coverage with whiter soil. So, yep, that was 300 points damage. I pretty much knew it should either be where I clicked or there, and that's okay. Okay, next one here now. Looks kind of like Eastern Europe. We have German ballads, I think, here. Almost feels a bit like Würzburg, so I might go near there. Franconia, that area has quite a bit of wine growing, so I do like the guess. I like Würzburg. I don't think it actually is there, but it's kind of a nice thought. Yeah, it's not actually there, I would say. So maybe something like this could work quite nicely, I think. I'll just go for it here. But yeah, relatively short. It is an interesting guardrail for Germany. I mean, they use both there, actually. So yeah, it is actually fine. But yeah, these bollards, the German style, the wedge style. And indeed it was all the way up near Mainz there. So makes sense. We go for the same guess. So immediately getting the sense that this player is pretty good. Both good region guesses, similar to what I was thinking. Okay, next one here, USA. As you guys know, I'm playing no moving, and a lot of people want me to move, which is fair. I do need to improve my moving, but I prefer playing no moving, and if this series is going to keep going, then I think I should just play what I like to play. Okay, so we have a lot of corn here. I kind of thought Ohio or something. The trees kind of feel mixed. They don't feel super southern, north, super northern. And I don't think we should let our opponent get to too many clues here. So I'm actually just going to go for southern Ohio here. I could see this being anywhere from Pennsylvania down to Tennessee or something like that, and maybe even over the other side of the Appalachians. But I feel like Ohio is at least decent, and it could be further west as well. It might just be different hills. And it is, yeah, Illinois hills instead, which doesn't surprise me, and he's closer there despite going south. Yeah, just unfortunate that the Appalachians are shaped like they are, because we had the better latitude there, but yeah, ultimately wasn't the best guess anyway. So this looks like it's going to be somewhere in Lithuania with these poles, and the buildings felt German, so I will go like around this kind of direction here. Maybe a bit too confident of a guess going right on the border there, but it just kind of looked a bit like Poland to me, so I think I like it. And yeah, it was in that region, so that's at least something nice. And our opponent is finally going to take some damage there, so yeah, not too much of a difference here as we head into the Maltese, where we have a single yellow line. So what does that mean exactly here? Maybe South America somewhere. So we're driving right-hand side of the road here, clearly. Is this Mexico? So where's the sun, firstly? So sun is, it's exactly no, sun is definitely, oh, sun's not that helpful, okay. Is that a Mexican sign? Is that black kind of arrow distinct enough? I think it's actually just Colombia, right? Yeah, we have Colombian signs here, okay. In which case, maybe a bit further north here, or maybe east of Andes. There is a distinct lack of palm trees here, so maybe I would be thinking east of Andes. So what about mountains then? Do we see any mountains to our west? And so over that direction we don't really. I could see north or south here. The fact that it's a big highway made me think it was more north, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give this a go instead. We'll see if it's at least decent. It was just north. Okay, not the best guesses from me so far today, but yeah, 1.6k there. That's certainly nothing we can't come back from. I don't know, lack of palm trees. I don't really know if I was, that's probably completely made up. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something there to work off of. Okay, we have fancy roofs here, so I would say we're not too far from, American British Center. Interesting. I would say we're not too far from, Phnom Penh. That's been my logic previously, but the reddish soil does kind of feel a bit like elsewhere. So I'm gonna stick with my fancy roofs meta here. I guess if I wasn't thinking of that, I'd probably go one of these two, Siam Reap or Krong. So, yeah, well, I mean, Batang, Bang, okay. And it was just north there. So, yeah, the roof meta wasn't working. I think I should have just trusted the soil. Again, a deficiency in decision-making there, but that's okay. And here we have 2.5 times damage in the Netherlands. Indeed we do. It is Netherlands with that green sign, and this kind of textured curve is really common there. I would say it's maybe in the middle of the country. It doesn't really give me a particular vibe either direction, so I'll go near Zwolle here. Maybe it's a lot of trees, so maybe even closer to the German border, honestly. Yeah, it just kind of feels like Germany. Yeah, and it was right on the German border there. Unfortunately, a bit further south there. So still, our opponent is getting closer than us, which is to be expected, considering they're moving and we're not. But they've been good guesses. There hasn't been any, like, particularly obvious urban rounds here. Okay, this one should be somewhere in... We have a blurred antenna here. So this one should be somewhere in Asian Russia. And it is the black car, and it is a big highway as well. So let's try and think here. We're kind of going north-south here. Very interesting. So do we have larch trees? I think these are larches. North to south here. Could it be Bratsk? I think Bratsk doesn't have a blurred antenna. So I kind of just thought we were somewhere around here, but maybe also just on this highway too. I think it is just in this region though, so I'll probably just leave it like that. And it was, oh man, I was just going to go there. Again, good guess from our opponent. Very solid play so far, must say. And I don't suspect any cheats here. This is definitely legitimate gameplay, so we have to just step up and play nicer, don't we? Okay, lots of palms here. Let's check the copyright date. It's going to be 2022. This should be south then. It's a big valley here as well. Pretty 5K-able, I think. So let's see here. What kind of valley do we want to pick? Something like this could work quite nicely. Or maybe just this central valley here. I think that's kind of more likely. It's somewhere in these ones, I think. So... I mean, we didn't see any water here, so I kind of like this guess, but somewhere in that region, in my opinion. But could just be an island, in which case we're going to lose some points if he just middle hedges, but, you know, it all depends on what he finds, I guess, because we don't know what was hiding around the corner, and that was Luzon. Okay, well, yeah, copyright meta, I'm going to knock us out there, unfortunately. It was a lot of palm trees, so I think I was going to go north anyway, but now if I look back at the, GG's to our opponent, now if I look back at the round, we did have a lot of rice there, so that was just a terrible game. But that's okay. Only 16 minus there. It was a fairly evenly rated opponent, and so hopefully we can bounce back here. Honestly, it was no countries that I'm particularly good at. It was just kind of a string of like fairly average rounds. Okay, Tobas here from Austria. Theoretically going to be an easier game because of his rating. And we have some Poland off rip. Do we have anything useful here? Any place name or anything like that? Immediately goes for the guess here. No, I don't think there is anything. So vibes-wise now, we have a Vov ending here. No. Oh, we have brick buildings. That's kind of interesting. I'll go further west here maybe for that reason. Not really sure what I think though. Okay, it was further southwest. I guess Silesia. Yeah, that makes sense. Having a few more kind of Germanic style buildings or something like that, right? But good guess from our opponent as well. Next one here looks like UK with the hedgerows. Could be Ireland. Yeah, so it's left-hand drive for sure. This is just a normal giveaway sign, so I don't really see... I think it's more Irish overall, but I could definitely see UK as well. Let's just kind of hedge in Western and Southern Ireland here, because I do get a South vibe here. It kind of feels like it easily could be West France or something. And another good hedge from our opponent here, so we have not done any damage after the first two rounds yet. Good play from Torbas here. Okay, next one here. Felt like, well, it could actually be Mexico. I thought it was US though. Looks like a Mexican-style sign here, though. And yeah, with this kind of haze on the camera, I think it is Baja California. And these tall wooden poles, anyway, are quite commonly found there as well. I will just go in this region here, I think. What about the hills? Yeah, it's fairly flat to the north there. Yeah, that's looking good. Although, do we see any in the further distance? Honestly, these cacti... Yeah, it does work. Okay, nice. Opponent goes in New Mexico. Fair enough guess. 1K damage there. Our first one of the whole... video, I think, where we've gotten significantly closer. So, finally. Okay, next one here. Going to be somewhere in, like, Czechia or something like that. Germanic architecture, but not quite feeling like Germany. And also, Generation 3 camera. Is that a Skoda? It's an opal, okay. I think, oh, it's very tall mountains there. I think I would just say this was like somewhere, you know, like Liberec or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Could still be other countries too. Let's give that a go. And, oh my gosh, it was Romania. Just trying to think. I mean, I don't think I would associate those houses with Romania, and it's a really impressive guess from our opponent there. Yeah, I'm not honestly mad about my guess there. I'd probably still go there again, even if I was playing a bit better. Okay, this is Polish Poles. Vibes-wise, maybe feels a bit further north here. It is kind of interesting. Like, they don't look fully indented, so I'm just trying to make sure that this is indeed Poland. That's a bit of a weird pole for Poland too, I must say. This house, also, honestly, also kind of interesting. So, could I be missing something here? Could this be France instead somehow? I think it could be, but this fence looked really Soviet. Maybe I'm throwing here, guys. These trees also look really Soviet, but that's not a Polish pole. It actually has just indents instead. But is it like North Spain or something? I don't know. I'm just going to hedge right down south here, because I'm not quite sure. Oh my gosh, it was Poland. Really weird polls for Poland. And do we go out there? We do. Oh my gosh. Not a good start here, guys. Not a good start. But that is just the weight. We have to chug on here. That was a very low rated opponent to be taking that loss to. And honestly, really bad. But okay, we're against UU now. Is this the UU I know from Israel? Probably not, if it says he's from Japan. Okay, we have the B-type antenna here. This is very dry. Yeah, trying to think what this is most likely to be. I kind of expected this to be kind of up near Orenburg, but now with that antenna, I think we probably have to go near Volgograd instead. And I guess, oops, didn't mean to move there. I guess maybe a Lister area, actually. Maybe like the road north of a Lister or something like that could work quite nicely here. Road angle, I mean, would pretty much preclude that road from being correct, but I think it is something in that region anyway. And I don't think we saw any birch trees, right? So yeah, we should be just fine here, I imagine. Let's find out where it actually was. And okay, was near a Lister there, so that's a bit of a dub at least. Hopefully we can come back here and, I mean, the first two duels, I mean, you guys hate when I make the excuse that I'm tired, but I really, for certain reasons, which you guys will find out eventually, was staying up late last night recording. So, a pretty cool video. So, you have to wait for that, but instead the duels might be suboptimal play. Okay, this is at least Jordan on the 15, the divided highway. And I guess something like this is working pretty nicely. The mountains there are a bit too far back from the road there, so yeah, maybe more like this, right? I don't know, somewhere there. Hopefully our opponent hasn't managed to line up the 5K, but honestly, with this lack of vegetation, south feels pretty good, and it was all the way south there. Indeed. Okay, it was was it even divided? It was divided there, but I guess this is like it becomes not divided pretty soon after that. Okay, next one here. Good knowledge to keep that in my mind, actually. Next one here should be US or Canada. I don't know, like, the signage feels a bit more US, but the landscape feels a bit Canadian. Could certainly just go, like, Maine or something like that here. It honestly kind of feels like Maine. I think I might try that. Because it could just be Quebec as well, in which case we still get good points here. So I'll go northern Maine here. There's not really any coverage up north. Like, maybe Caribou has some, but yeah, not much in that forested area at all. But I feel good about this guess. I mean, is it any US flag here or anything? Not really. But yeah, I still feel good. The double yellow line is more common in the US than Canada. And it was Nova Scotia. Okay, that makes sense. Good guess from our opponent, to be honest. Not an easy one to get, I think. But we're pretty close there in Maine, so definitely a similar landscape, similar latitude, similar climate in most ways. Okay, this is just Israel. Does it kind of look like Haifa, maybe? It's very green here. Probably just Tel Aviv, but yeah, we don't see any of like the iconic mountains, so I think I would go Tel Aviv here, but did initially get that Haifa vibe with how green this was. But yeah, red and white curbs, very common in Israel. So even if you don't see any number plates, consider Israel when you see these curbs, because they really are just most common there. And it was Tel Aviv. It goes a bit further north near Netanya there, so makes sense. And it's going to be 63 points. Looks like it's going to be more because we're so close, but no. Okay, next one here. Wooden poles on the side of the road here. Lots of winterish coverage going on. And so what have we got here? It looks kind of French, right? That's kind of my vibe here. Is that a blue? That is a blue sticker on the pole there. Okay, so in which case, I got a bit of a south vibe, but I also got a north vibe. I'm going to click literally middle here. I could actually see north of Paris here easily, but then again, I feel like this kind of tree here looks... no, it's mixed. It's mixed vibes here. Pretty sure I'm happy with the middle send, but it could be further north as well, I think. Clicking maybe more towards the south of where this could be, in my opinion. And okay, it was actually in that region. Opponent goes Czechia, not really a surprise there. I mean, if he didn't stop to check the polls, it's a hard round, I think. Oh, but okay, we're on double damage now. And it looks like Lesotho, but it could be Europe still, actually. We're driving right, so it should be Europe. Probably Romania, in which case. And with this dry coverage, it tends to be like south or east, and I kind of thought just clicking near Bucharest is right here, because we're kind of in the foothills or something like that. Although it is very flat to the north, so maybe not exactly where I clicked. In fact, probably maybe more east for that reason. But yeah, I think with this like kind of tiny flag on the antenna, plus the red and white arrow that we had there, felt good. That was a big hill for all the way out there on the mouth of the Danube or whatever it is, so interesting round. 2.5 times damage in Switzerland here. And it is very rolling landscape here, so let's see where we'd get that. I would say maybe like south of Zurich here, you get it quite a lot, maybe in this region as well. Maybe this region actually has quite a lot of that. I'll go south of Bern, actually. Let's try that. Okay, it was south of Bern, yeah. Really rolling landscape there. Makes sense that we're in a national park as well. It's a good guess, 500 points. Won't sneeze at that. Better than if I had have gone where he went. Of course. A bit of a platitude. Okay, triple damage here. This vegetation you can see in South America. It's more of a Asian thing, though. We do have a Colombia car here. I think this is definitely a Bogota click. I think there's a lot of coverage around Bogota that gets really rocky like this. Similar kind of vegetation. Could see this being like on the Ecuadorian border as well. Otherwise, it should be somewhere around where I clicked, I reckon. So I think this is the correct hedge, so to speak. But we will see if I'm correct about that or not. Does he get Colombia? Yeah, it's just Bogota. Classic click Bogota, man. And it's going to be knockout damage as well. So, there we go. Finally getting a win there. That was at least a convincing win. We get 18 points. So already, guys, making it back. That's the good thing about the update. Even if you go on a few losses in a row, you can just gain it back very quickly. And that is what I hope to do on this one, because we have our Ethiopian opponent here. Give him a wave back. Who is quite highly rated. I think higher than we are. So, okay. Oak tree... we have definitely UK here with the yellow rear plates, right? But we have interesting architecture with so much brick going on. Abbey. What do we think here? Is it just England or somewhere else completely? Maybe Scotland could work quite nicely here, I think. No, I think that landscape in the back... Interesting. I'm looking for like a Scottish name or something, or like an Irish name or something like that. Welsh. Don't really see any. I'm just gonna hedge here. I'm not really sure where this is, so I'm just gonna go up in the mountains here. It's probably not there. Okay, it was. Yeah, I guess I got very mixed vibes, so it does make sense. Really good guess from our opponent there. But we are close, so it's really not too much damage. Sometimes when you just don't know, clicking middle of the country is very prudent in some occasions. I could probably learn from my own advice there. Anyway, SP. I think that's an Italian type of road. Now this should be kind of central in that case, I would say. So I'm just gonna go for that. It should be a fairly easy round with the double blues on the number plates here. Landscape-wise, this could be anywhere, honestly. This is like I think it's on the main, part of the boot, like the boot itself, but could be anywhere up to Bologna or Genoa, I think, all the way down to where I guessed, yeah. And even down to the bottom of the boot there was always possible. And so a good guess there, 500 points. Not too bad, not too shabby. Okay, what are we going to have here? A bit of Senegal action. I think we're getting into the groove of things here. Hopefully you guys stuck through well, clearly if you're still here, you stuck through the first part of the video. Now, is there any metas here? I don't think so. Landscape-wise, doesn't feel like it's too far from Dakar, I would say. And these scratches on the roof, I'm not really sure where that's found, but surely some meta here. I think I would just go here. I think this is literally just like kind of the type of round where you click in the middle, because it's kind of very generic looking, especially these trees. Okay, yeah, it was middle click. Understandable guess there. I feel like the soil's a bit paler up there maybe or something. But yeah, it's another 500 points, which is actually pretty good for Senegal. Here we have a striped curb, so probably Balkan here. And I think it is Bulgaria maybe. Yeah, it is Bulgaria, and it feels like Greece, so I'm going to click right on the Greek-Turkish border here. Down here should be fine, I reckon. So hopefully there's no sign name or anything like that. But I feel really good about this guess. Just something about the vibe. I mean, the road looks really Turkish as well with the black splodges. So I feel good about this guess, but we'll see. We'll see where it actually is here. And, okay, it was northwest instead, so got the complete wrong vibe there. That's unfortunate. Good guess from our opponent, too. Maybe was able to use the topography of it while looking around, but that's fine for us. Next one here, we have a bit of language here. Is that the ski ending makes me think this is Poland. And if it is, it looks like German, Poland, that side of things. And indeed, we are in Poland here. So I would say it's never Ukraine, right? Yeah, we have Polish language. Okay, thinking more west, maybe like here or something like that. Maybe, yeah, I mean, this building kind of looks Silesian, maybe, so maybe I should have clicked maybe Wrocław or maybe even further southeast, but still fine with this guess. I think it's definitely feeling more German side. But sometimes big cities in the east also feel like this. We'll see. And okay, was that region? Very nice. Near Lesno. And we do a bit more damage. Okay. Nothing too crazy here yet. Our opponent is playing very decently. Unfortunately, we got some really close guesses on low multis. Hopefully, we can continue that trend, though. So this is Brazil. It's very, like, hazy in the sky. What kind of color card do we have here? Just blue. So I thought this might be... it's something in the interior, that's for sure. Do we have any... Okay, we don't have, I think, any phone code or anything like that. We're just going to have to rely on a good guess here. He's going to be getting to a phone code, so I think I just have to go like this. Because I think it could be Rondoni, and I think it could be Tocantins Goiás. And honestly, I think this guess as well is pretty decent. So, yeah. Hopefully these signs didn't have too much info on them. I dare say they may have. Let's see here. Did it? Okay, it did. Okay, nothing crazy though, and it was in Mato Grosso, so we got the state there. Santa Catarina, oh, interesting south guess there. I think south you would normally see it being quite a bit greener, but I guess the kind of rolling landscape there does make sense for that. Okay, and the last one here, well, I hope it's the last one because it's Canada, so it should be. Should be just somewhere in Newfoundland for my money. But I don't really have a way to confirm that. We could actually lose here. Could this be British Columbia? I think it feels more like Newfie, but the... no, that's a Quebec sign. Oh, is this... It's not US, I think. I don't think it's Alaska. Yeah, it's not Alaska. And yet we have like a US sign road ending sign. So is this Northern Quebec? I think we have to go Northern Quebec with that sign. Here or something. Okay, it's a bit dodgy. It's a bit dodgy, but I think with the pressure on, we may be able to make something happen here, because I think this is pretty rural, so he may not find anything in the time I've given him. But yeah, that meta is fairly consistent, so if I'm right, then we're going to be very right, and we are very right. Yeah, it's going to be all the way up there, very north feeling around there, and GG's to our opponent. So immediately we've bounced back. I think we've gained all our elo back from the start of the video, or just about, so yeah, no complaints there. We definitely needed it, and we've gotten our bronze medal, excellent. And here we are against a Swedish player, lower rated again, so if we can take this dub, then we're back up to where we were. We have some Bangladesh action here now. Bangladesh, it's a country I was practicing a little bit with RC. We have a lot of palms here. What copyright do we have? 2023, so that should be more so everywhere in the country. It's not really the useful one, but I felt like it's further west, so I'll just try that. I'm not really sure where this is. Okay, well, it's further west, a bit further southwest there. I'm generally speaking with more palm trees, kind of more common in the south, so could have probably gone there, but that's okay. Next one here, Colombia, or is it Taiwan? I think it's Taiwan, actually, yeah. Okay, and Taiwan then, probably somewhere on the west coast. I don't see any mountains here. Okay, we do have mountains there to our east, so yeah, that definitely makes sense. Do we have a phone code here? Honestly, Taiwan's small enough that I'm pretty happy to just go in here. Let's go in this city here. I'm not really sure. Middle hedge is fine. We're going to lose at most 500 points. And indeed, clicking in the middle of the country once again pays off. So yeah, I mean, a fairly standard start to the duel here. Nice to get some fairly easy ones out of the way. Hopefully get the harder ones later on where the multis are up and we can make a nice guess like we did in that last Canada. Okay, here we have some... I think this car is normally found in Indonesia, right? We have a lot of like Balinesian rubes, I would say. And yet, I think this chipped paint car is normally... Just trying to think. I think it's normally found in Sumatra. So, is this Sumatra actually? What does this say? Pantai Timur. So it means eastern something. Pantai. Don't think I've ever heard of that. Yeah, I don't think it's worth searching either. But what about these other roofs, okay? So down there, ooh. I thought it might be a black sticker on the pole or something. Almost could have been. So what about, okay, it's like over this direction, not too much. We do have a lot of tiles, so I feel like it is almost essential to click, unless this is Malaysia somehow. No, it's not Malaysia. I think this would be a striped signpost in Malaysia. Hold up, could it be? Is this actually a black sticker? Huh. I was pretty sure it was, wait, why did I think this was, why was I sure? I think I'm not sure anymore. I think this actually could be Malaysia somehow. Black car with a bit of white on it. I don't think I've ever seen that in... I'm so stumped here. I think I have to go Malaysia, but I don't know. I'm hedging. It was just Bali there. Yeah, I don't think that car would ever be found in Malaysia. I was not thinking quite rationally there, but it's okay. We still guessed Malaysia technically, so I mean Indonesia technically, so we save a bit of face there. Morale is still high. But yeah, there was enough Polynesian roofs. I don't know, I just got a bit confused there. Okay, here we have some Russia. These are more the European style bollards, so thinking more Western Russia here. I think that's all useless. This feels like Urals, I think, then. Yeah, we have a lot of Asian cars here, which is a bit interesting, though. So maybe the European bollards extend a bit further east here. I think so. In which case, maybe, like, Kemerovo region here could work quite nicely. Maybe Krasnoyarsk region. I just get the feeling we have so many Asian cars here that I should try further east. Because that's 1, 2, 3... Yeah, it's so many. So yeah, I will actually try around Krasnoyarsk, I think. Kemerovo, Krasnoyarsk. Let's go Abakan region, actually. And, okay, it was, yeah, further over, but that's still a good amount of damage there. It's going to be at least 2k. Yeah, nice. Unfortunately, we didn't get that during the multis, but still good. Okay, next one here, 1.5 times damage. Is it Australia, finally? I think so. Oh, it's New Zealand. I think I might go instantly North Island here. It just kind of gives me this vibe. It's a bit risky to go like this, but I think New Zealand's a country where often moving is really useful for people. Especially if they could read that, yeah. So I think just going instantly here is a good idea. And it could still be South Island, easily. But I think I like North here. I do think the region I clicked is correct, and yeah, it was. You get that very rolling landscape here, especially as you just enter the mountains there, so another good one there. And unfortunate for us that he actually got a good guess there, because it could have been knockout. Okay, this feels like Lofoten up north. I think I'm just going to go straight for it here, guys. It's a very distinctive region. I'm not saying it's definitely there, but the way this is so cloudy, the trees are kind of short, it feels good. And also the fact that we're on a bridge, like there's tons of random bridges in this region. So yeah, and it could be further north as well, Tromsø region, but yeah, we'll see. Oh, it was there. Beautiful. Okay, so this has been a much better duel. We don't take him out just yet. It's 1.5k, but we're getting close now. So now we want small countries rather than big ones. And I think we have not gotten our wish here, but we'll see. So I think it's Ghana. Actually, Ghana's pretty doable. Tarkwa. This kind of felt more like Eastern Ghana. Basua, beach resort. Okay, beach resort would obviously indicate that we're a bit further south here. And we have a lot of palms as well, so I guess that makes sense. Basua. See if we can find that anywhere. Don't really think it's that findable, to be fair. I don't know, I think I will leave it south here. Beach resort, surely it's not lying, right? Didn't really feel that south. It's a bit concerning, but we'll see. 14 kilometers away, yeah. And again, that's a good amount of damage. I think still not quite enough. Oh, it is 1 point, okay. Well, I was right. 1 point, okay. Surely we didn't throw it from here, guys. Let's see. He's on 1 point. All right, then, come on. This is white car in Thailand. It's very dry. And it feels a bit further north. I think you get this coverage like a lot of time east of Bangkok or around Tuk, so I'm just going to hedge between here. I think this is a good guess. Regardless, it's not the easiest round anyway, so maybe he misses the country or something like that. I feel like it's possible. It's not that typical. We'll see where he goes. I mean, I don't think we get knocked out here regardless. We have too much HP to get knocked out. And it was a bit further north there, and 1 point will not be enough to save him. So there we go. That is going to be a win again. So after the third one in a row, after a terrible start, you can't deny, we are back above where we were. So not how I expected things to go, but that is excellent. And we'll go for one more duel here and see if we can end it off on a more significant positive note. And we're against the same guy again? Or is this, no, this is the Swedish guy who beat us before, actually. Oh, I don't know. I have goldfish brain. Can't remember if it's, no, I think it is a different guy. So let's see if we can win here. Black dual car. Looks like it's going to be south Bangladesh here. I was going to go instantly for the guess here, but I think I should actually take a look around. Yeah, I mean, it should just be South Bangladesh somewhere here. So this guess is fine, I believe. Now let's see what he sees when he moves around a bit here. Yeah, he's definitely going to work out that it's Bangladesh by the time he gets here. To be fair, there's been no writing yet, so it is possible that he went somewhere else. Was downtown Dhaka there? Wow, very remote feeling for something so close to one of the biggest cities in South Asia, but there you go. Next one here. Kind of looks like New Zealand maybe or something like that. It's actually going to be in Ireland. Now, with this kind of landscape, I was thinking, going to go for an insane guess here. I was thinking down here. I was practicing a bit of Ireland on my second channel, which you should go subscribe to, Geoguessr Explain. Should be somewhere on this coast, and it felt kind of too warm. It kind of felt like New Zealand, so I go down here, I think. But maybe it's just somewhere else on the west coast. And it was down there. Let's go. Region guessed it like a pro. Let's freaking go, guys. Only 333 points, but definitely a good amount of psychological damage there. And that is sometimes so important, in my opinion. Okay, next one here. It's looking like it's going to be... These are Quebec bollards, I think. Yeah. And this road, then, is probably the road that goes... Oh, wait. In fact, interesting that we're going west here. But I thought this is probably the road that kind of goes up here, right? And if we're going east to west, somewhere up here. But it's Quebec bollards, so maybe like a bit further south on the road. Just trying to see if I can see anything else here. Yeah, it's almost certainly Quebec. I mean, with these bollards, it is. So I'm just trying to think if I go further south here. We do see some hills as well, but we're deeply forested, so I want to go a bit further south, actually. I don't know. I'm just going to hedge it like this. Let's see what it actually is. Okay, it was all the way up there. Okay, makes sense. Not a terrible guess from my opponent, but it is going to be significant damage there, 1.4k. Honestly, makes sense where it was. I should consider that more next time I come across a round like that. Is this Russia? I wouldn't mind some Russia here. So we have the B-type antenna. And it's not even Russia, I think. This is like Italy, maybe with the double guardrail. I do believe that is Italian. And with this amount of like kind of olive trees, I would be thinking here, Bari area, but we don't see much because of the, I'm just gonna guess, we don't see much because of the bridge here. So if we go out and look at the landscape more clearly here, I think it's a good guess, but I could see Sardinia working here. I could see, I don't think it's Sicily, but I feel like it's, yeah. Okay, it was just on the boot there, so that's good. Another good chunk of damage there. Unfortunately, we didn't get multis on some of these great rounds, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Okay, this looked a bit, I mean, the road's really poor, so I thought maybe Ukraine. As we take a look around here, no antenna on the car, so maybe North Macedonia here. Poles wouldn't. I think sometimes Greece has no, but Greece would normally have a double line here. I think it's just South Serbia for that reason, the fact that we have no antenna here. I'm just going to go for it. I think wooden poles you can find in Serbia too, so honestly I think this is a good guess, but, wait, why didn't I go North Macedonia? I think this is actually North Mac, but, regardless, we're pretty close, so it's okay. I guess just because it's such a small road. Okay, it is Serbia. Yeah, I guess like the fact that it wasn't on the highway always going to make that more likely. So again, great damage there. I mean, the guesses have been really nice towards the end of this video, so I think I just had some bit of rustiness coming into the first games there. Especially that Poland guess was terrible though. Okay, so this is... Wait. Okay, this is Faroe Islands, that's why. I was very confused about where this was. Should be Tórshavn, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's very urban here, so I can only imagine. But this looked like a Austrian sign, like an Einweg. Yeah, it's the same one, Einwegis, but in German it's Einweg. What is it? I don't know. Something like that. Oh, it was downtown Tórshavn there, and he goes for Norway. Didn't check the Google car, which is fortunate for us. And yeah, I mean, look at this duel, by the way. I mean, nice way to end it off. We had very consistent scores there, always above 4,000. And even like the low scoring ones, we had the nice region guess, so cannot complain about that duel, I cannot. But there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end. Please give it a like if you were one of those people who enjoyed it, and that's about it for it. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.